Welcome to my kitchen. I'm Tiara. Today we are going to be baking thumbprint cookies. Thumbprint cookies are a very popular cookie to give around the holidays because they're easy to make and you can add a variety of different flavors and combinations to make a bunch of different types to give your cookies a little bit of variety. And as the name suggests, kind of make them with your hands and you push a little indent into them with your thumb. And that's where the name thumbprint cookie comes into play. Today I'm going to be making one dough and then making two different kinds of thumbprint cookies. The first one I'm going to make is a pistachio cookie with raspberry jelly filling. And then the second thumbprint cookie I'm going to make will have a little bit of goat's cheese and some fig and chili jam in the center, which is kind of sweet, but also savory and spicy. So it's a more savory cookie than the raspberry and pistachio, but it'll be equally as delicious, maybe even more. Who knows? We'll find out soon. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, for the basic thumbprint cookie, I have 1 cup of butter softened, 1/3 cup of sugar, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then for my 2 fillings today, I'm going to do seedless red raspberry jam and pistachios for 1. And then I'm going to use this chili fig spread, which sounds really good. A little bit of goat cheese for the other. But we can make both of them together with one dough, and we'll just split it in half and add different stuff when we get to that point. Okay, I'm going to be using my stand mixer today because that makes life much easier. I'm going to start with the butter and the sugar. And I'm going to use the paddle attachment and I'm going to beat it until everything is together and nice and fluffy. Alright, hopefully now you can see the butter is nice and fluffy and everything's mixed together very well. Now I'm going to add in the vanilla. Okay, I'm just using a fork to whisk the flour and the salt together. And now I'm going to incorporate it into my butter and sugar mixture, but first I'm going to scrape down the sides. And I'm not going to add all of it at once. I'll add maybe 1/3 of it. And we're going to mix it on low and then we'll add more in. All right, now you can see the dough is mixed together. It's kind of crumbly, but that's okay. Thumbprint cookies are kind of like a shortbread cookie, so they're not super liquidy. So I'm going to take half of this. This is going to be our pistachio half. I'm going to start by adding 1/2 teaspoon of cardamom. This pistachio and cardamom and raspberry all go very nice together. Just going to use this fork that I used to whisk earlier to mix that in. Looks good. Alright, so I'm just taking a finger and making an indent into each cookie. You want to make sure the sides are not too broken up, because you need this little dent for the jam filling to rest in. Otherwise it'll come oozing out. So these are called Thumbprint cookies, but I'm using my middle finger, so maybe these are 20-20. Alright, now that all of my cookies are pressed, we're ready to put in that raspberry jam filling. You can make your own jam, but I like this well-known store brand seedless raspberry jam, so that's what I'm going to use. And we're going to put half a teaspoon right in the center. It looks very full, but the cookies are going to spread out a little bit, and hopefully the jam will stay in the center. I guess we'll find out in a few minutes. All right, with all of my Thumbprint cookies filled, it's time to go into the oven. We're going to give these between 13 and 16 minutes at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and the bottoms should be light brown and easily be able to lift them off of the baking sheet. So we'll put these in the oven, and then we'll work on our other half of the dough, which is our chili fig and goat cheese. All right, I have the other half of my dough, and I'm just going to take about a tablespoon of this fresh goat cheese. Make sure it's fresh, not aged. Mix it in. Use that same fork again, just of course rinsed off. Just make sure that you're getting it thoroughly mixed into the dough. You can even use your hands if you want to make sure that it is spread evenly throughout the dough. Just basically until you don't see any more big white splotches. And that's all we're actually going to do to this dough. We're not going to add any other ingredients like we did for this pistachios. So I'm just going to grab a baking sheet and start with the next step. So I'm just going to do exactly what I did with the other dough, and I'm going to measure it out into teaspoons full-sized balls, so about 1 inch, and then I'll spread them out on my lined baking sheet. Alright, just like with the other Thumbprint cookies, I'm going to fill these with the fig chili jam. Now, if you don't have fig chili jam, you can just use fig jam. If you want it to have that little spiciness from the chili, you take the fig jam out of the jar and mix in some chili flakes. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is, with clean hands, take a little pinch of the goat cheese and place it on top of the jam. All right, and now these are ready to go into the oven. And they'll go in also at 325 for 13 to 16 minutes. The other ones were done at 16, but I'll still check these early anyways, just in case, since the dough texture is slightly different because of the goat cheese and the lack of mixed in nuts. So we'll put these in and let them bake. And here are our fig and goat cheese thumbprint cookies out of the oven. I let them cool on the baking sheet for a couple of minutes and then transferred them to the wire rack where they will cool completely. They smell amazing and I can't wait to try them, and I can't wait to try the other thumbprint cookies too. All right, are you ready to try some cookies?
Yes.
Okay, so I have pistachio with raspberry jam, and then these are that fig and chili spread with some goat cheese.
Oh wow, those both sound good. I'm gonna try the fig one.
Okay. Mm.
Well, that was really good. The spread is really good. I like the mixture of the flavors. The cookies are just about right too, I think.
Yeah, they're nice. The dough is nice and soft. I put goat cheese inside of the dough, and I think that helps. And the fig jam that I used has chili in it and gives it a little bit of a heat, a little bit of kick at the end. It's nice.
Yes.
All right, should we try the pistachio and raspberry?
Yes. That's really good too.
I was worried there wouldn't be enough pistachio flavor because I just put some ground up pistachio inside of it. But there's a couple of little chunks in there too, and that helps.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so I hope that you enjoyed making these thumbprint cookies with me. As you can see, thumbprint cookies are very easy to make and they're very versatile, and you can kind of mix and match your flavors and make a bunch of yummy things with just one dough. So let me know what you think. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and those of you that have already, I thank you very much. And we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.